Hello and welcome back. Woohoo! We have another very nice big update with lots of chewy goodness. So this is for patch number 444. Coming out today, yesterday for many of you who may not see it by the end of Thursday. You might hear my cat in the background. He's being very vocal right now as I record this. He says, hello everybody out there in PinBuilder land. There you go, can you hear him?
What's that?
All right. As soon as you want them to do it, they don't do it. And when, you know how cats are. All right, so let's take a look at all the steamy goodness right here. This is exciting. So here you can see we're build 444, and you'll notice that there's a new little VR button. If you have a VR headset and it is connected, it should probably be a mixed reality, a HTC Vive, Oculus Quest, or Oculus Rift, I should say. That's an older one. Or the newer version of the Oculus, which is the Quest. I have a Quest 3, so that's what I'm developing with. And the Steam Index or Valve Index, whatever that is, that should also work. So any of those should work, and anything else that uses any of those software foundation classes should work. The VR does not need anything special other than you need, for example, with the Quest, I have to use the Oculus Rift software, and that enables me to use the Steam Link. So you enable Oculus inside your Oculus headset, or I should say inside your Quest headset, you enable Steam Link, and then you have to open up the Steam VR app. And once you do that, you'll see that this little button right here turns green. And so you would start up the game like normal. And then when you see these buttons are green, if you want to open that table in VR, you just press on that button and it will open up in VR. Now, when you're in VR, you're not going to be able to scroll this yet. That's going to come soon. It's going to take me a while to code that to be able to scroll with VR. I'm still working on that, but I wanted to go ahead and release it now so those of you with VR headsets can go ahead and test it out and check out the VR stuff because it is pretty cool. I'm so excited about that. I'll be jumping back into VR development after tomorrow or tonight. It's just probably tonight for you now, because Friday night at 9:30 p.m. please join me on the Marco Specialties Steam channel. I'll be with Imoto, and we will be doing a live stream from the Midwest Expo Classic, which is a huge event for pinball and arcade stuff that's happening this weekend. So make sure you join us for that on Twitch. When you're in the VR menu, there will be a note across the top of it saying that that menu is going to be updated to be VR only. Currently, it is the same menu, but it will be a VR only menu. So I'll have to update that. Anyways, all right. So let's see. Other new things on here. Not going to see a whole heck of a lot on the menu because mostly everything else is inside the game. But you will notice there is a new room, and it is a cool one. I had so much fun doing this one. It is called Shining, and yes, you are correct. It is based on my favorite movie in the whole world, Stephen King's The Shining from 1980. One of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. I did a video on a different channel about the exit signs in The Shining. So if you search YouTube for Shining or The Shining exit signs, you'll probably see it. It's kind of interesting. I don't talk in that, but it's a very interesting thing, the exit signs in The Shining. So let's load up a blank one, and I want to show you some of the cool new stuff. I'm going to go ahead and save this as demo 444 since that's our update number. And we're going to pop in a couple of flippers real quick, and I want to show you some flipper changes because they're pretty important. So when you play some of your current games or tables that you have built, you're going to want to update your flippers because there's a lot of difference now between now and the way they used to play, and I'll show you why. So if we set the power for both of these to 15, That's going to give it a good solenoid power. So that's its kick-up power, right? That's the power it gives into the ball when it flips. And the flipper tuner is for tap English. That's for when you're flicking the button and you want it to just bounce just a little bit. And in order to show you that, I'm going to set this to, let's see, 22. Is that what I want that on? Yeah, whatever. That's fine. We'll do this one at 22, and then we'll do this one at 0.02. And I'm going to put it way low so it's really extremely low so you can see what I'm talking about here. And if you think if it sounds like I'm rushing through this video, I am. I'm just trying to rush through it and get it done so I can get this out before midnight tonight. All right, so starting up the game. And when I press the flippers, you'll see that I'm just tapping the flippers. Just tap, 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 tap. Now you see how the left one's barely moving? If I hold it, it'll go up. Like that. And it's really slow. It's like painfully slow. But that gives you an idea of the behavior of the flipper. So it kind of, sort of like a curve, up, up. It sort of increases with speed slowly over time. And this one, obviously, it's pretty much all the way up. It just slaps all the way up. Now the flipper does move. It just may not look like it because of my frame rate or whatever, but it does move. Now let me go here, and I'm going to change this to 0.1. Save it and go over, and we'll get into another one here. And you can see that it moves up faster, but I can still control it. So you can set that to wherever you want to set it so that it gives you the flipper behavior that you want for your game or the situation. All right, so that's one of the first things I wanted to point out. So once you update, your machines are going to act weird. I have updated Twisted Circus, Kaiju Battle, Alien Meadow, and Unfathomable. I have not messed with Heavy Gunner because it kind of sucks. And Star Destroyer, is a knockoff of Firepower, and that one kind of sucks too. I mean, it's not really much of anything, so I didn't mess with that. But the other ones I did update, so those 4 are updated, just so you know. I've added another thing to the game this week, and that is, let's just put these guys in here. And I'll show you what I've added. We've got silicone rubber now. So if you go and check the variant, you'll see down at the bottom it says standard silicone rubber. So that's going to give you the standard flipper with a silicone rubber ring. And then when you go to color that, you can just color it whatever color you like. I like a yellowish green. And then you can apply that. So now I've applied it to this one, which still has the standard rubber on it. Now, keep in your noggin that when you do this, it's not going to change the bounciness. You're going to have to do that on your own. So you may want to change that up to something more bouncy. Just depends on, what you really want bouncy-wise. So this one you can also do, and this one we can change it to the silicone. Those look really nice. I like the silicone look. And I'm talking about the rubber on the playfield. Okay, and then these guys too, you can do. Yeah, it's just the standard one. Now, I haven't done a hard rubber version with silicone yet, but I'll do that. I will do that eventually, but right now it's just all these basics right here. So what you see on the playfield there, those can all be set to the new silicone style. And no, if you choose like the short rounded type, that's not gonna have the silicone ring on it. Okay, that's just gonna be the regular one. So you got to select the one that says silicone rubber. Now, maybe at some point I'll just have that silicone as a separate option, but really, I don't think I will probably. I'll probably just leave it like this for now and then just have different variants for that. All right, so that's new. Let's see. I'm going to show you that I fixed a logic controller issue, and let's pick a nice, let's go with a nice orangey color on that. And I'm going to duplicate this with Alt D, and we'll just pull, whoops, we'll just put this here. That is strange. There's a collider that appears when you spawn these, but it doesn't appear once you come back into the game. I'm not sure what is causing that. It's sort of strange. Sometimes there's just a mystery. I'll fix it, but for now, that's what it is. Right there, we get this. Okay, so is that... Huh, interesting. Whatever, okay, white will do. All right, so if we add a logic controller, we're going to call this sequential, and we'll just give it a... Well, I guess it was that color. Sequential points, 10, 20, we'll do a blip, and then we'll do a and now we'll hold down the shift key. What the heck? Oh, interesting. There is something weird happening with the collider there. And if you run into that problem, I apologize. I'm just going to jump out and come back and see if it's... Yeah, see, that is strange. So somehow those are spawning some sort of collision. That's weird. I'll have to figure that out. I'll try to do that before I release it tonight, but I'm not going to stop my video just over that small thing. All right, so we're going to point this at our sequential controller. And that should work nicely. And then we'll add a ball spawner. We'll point it down, and we'll give it a velocity of 1, so it just starts moving. 0 velocity, I'll just kind of let it sit there. So now basically I just want to show you that we have the sequence fixed. And that's also a nice way of showing you how to set up a sequence. All right. So if we press B, why is that not working? What did I not do? Oh, one thing I forgot is to set that. What the hell? Why would that not work? It's all set up right. Huh, weird. All right, okay, so let's see. Now we go 1, 2. I also set this up so that it's quicker. So it doesn't miss. So if you do 2, it'll play them. And then on the last one, it'll reset. And now we know it's reset. And now it starts at 1 again. Now the audio, I'm still working on that. There's a bug in the audio, and that is a deeper bug for me to have to fix because that is actually Unreal Engine related. So I got to figure that out. So if we play too many of those too quickly, they cut each other off, and that's not what we want as far as audio goes. Oh yeah, and I forgot to show you. Here is the new suite. It's the Shining Suite. So we got the elevator and the awesome carpet, and you know, there's all kinds of other cool stuff hiding in here. That artwork is really quite cool. It's an Indian artwork called The Great Earth Mother, I think is the name of it. And so we got a gold room poster, chandelier or the lighting fixtures, and there's our buddy Jack. You know, what's funny is I saw this movie in 1980 with my parents at the theater, and I thought it was an awesome movie then. I didn't even understand it, but I thought it was cool. And one of the reasons I thought it was so cool was because Jack Nicholson in the movie looked so much like my father. It was so weird. I would like to thank the person who made this bathroom model for making it and making it available for free on Sketchfab. Thank you so much. There's a link to her Sketchfab page in the description of this video and in the update notes. So if you want to check out some really neat 3D artwork, go check her stuff out because she's really good. And this is perfect for what I wanted. And so we've got the creepy bathroom from room 237. And yeah, very cool. This was a fun level to build. And it's very simple. At some point, maybe I'll do some cool random animation stuff and little surprises in some of these levels just for kicks. I have some ideas for that for this particular level. Whether or not I will implement them very soon is another question. But anyway, I hope you're a fan of The Shining. And if not, well, I guess don't play this level. Right? Okay. All right, so let's see, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, added a new controller type called Reset, which I've talked about already. Basically, that would be you just select Reset, and what that option would do is whatever you connect it to, be it whatever it is connected to, like this is connected to, all these. When you do it like that, whether it's to inserts or objects that can be triggered or other logic controllers, it will reset them, and it will do one layer of logic controller reset, so it'll reset that controller and all of its attached items. So that's a really nice, helpful one. And I added a magnet power option, so let's go back to here. And if we put a magnet in here, you have to control the magnets with the logic controller. It's the only way to do it. So the way you would want to do that, well, first of all, there's a magnet power. I recommend about 4 for just a normal power. I know it defaults to an astronomical power and it's bizarre. Go back and look at the last video to see what the magnet power does. I will leave it at that. If you want to turn on a magnet at the very beginning of the game, you should have yourself one of these controllers and call it Fire at Start. And you can have spaces in that name, that's fine. And then choose Fire at Start. And what happens is when on the first ball of each player, and only on the first ball, the Fire at Start will fire. And you would want to have another controller here, and you'd want to call that Mag On. And that would be Magnet, and then Mag On. And then that Mag On would point to the magnet, and then this Fire at Start would just point, whoops, no, I don't want to do that, would point at Mag On. So here, this will fire at the first ball, and then this will come on, and that'll come on. So that's the way to do that. Now, if you want it to come on when the player fires the ball, I would suggest that you just use a switch in here, like one of these guys, put one of these guys in here, and set it up to fire at the mag on. So that way you can turn that magnet on when the ball rolls over it. So every time they shoot it, it'll just turn the magnet on. That's probably even a better way than the Fire at Start. Because Fire at Start, again, remember, it only fires on the first ball of any player. and it won't fire on any of the other balls. So that's just kind of like a, hey, welcome to the game kind of thing for DMDs or something. All right. Let's see. I did do a bunch of improvements. The improvements are re-implementing the flipper tuner option and refining that. So I talked about that already. I improved the lighting in the edit mode, as I don't know if you can tell, but the lighting in here is way better. And it is utilizing a much nicer lighting quality in this room than was in here before. And the same quality that then matches to the play mode. So if we change this post, for example, to transparent, and let's change the color to something pretty. That transparent color is going to translate nicely across to this mode. And it is a little bit brighter in here. That may be due to the lighting, but it also could be due to the room selection. Because I believe that the home arcade has a lighting configuration, that's a lot closer to the edit mode. And so this one is really plain and very gray, white, to illuminate the playfield really nicely. So that's basically the goal of this room, is to just give it some nice illumination. And so you can see the transparency looks a lot better. Let's see. I need that out of there. Oh yeah, the build sounds. So if you, let's see, if you want build sounds when you spawn an object, I don't know if you could hear that. I think I turned the volume way down. Let's turn that back up. There we go. And we'll delete that one. Oh, you can kind of hear it. I do have the volume down pretty low. So now if you don't want to hear those build sounds, for those, and let's see, that kind of gets routed into a hole when you move it and stuff. It's like kind of cute. It's sort of fun. I do plan on adding more. These are a screwdriver sound that bzzz. But if you don't want to hear those, all you need to do is just uncheck play build sounds. And if you don't want to see things like these pop-ups, you can undo those or take those out with that. And now when we spawn, let's just delete these guys. Now when we spawn those, you don't have to hear that stuff if you're a little more serious, And that's true for these guys, of course, too now. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? There's a whole bunch of bug fixes. Fixed a bug with the sequential lighting, which we've seen already. Oh yeah, the controller CPU collapse expand now functions. So let's open up Andar's really cool digital code test thing here. And I'm not going to run it, but I do want to show you the collapsibility. So if we go to logic mode, you can see that he has so much awesome logic going on in this table. So if you want to, you can see like these controllers right here, he's labeled digit 2, and that's for this digit. So this digit he's created with insert lighting is basically a group. So since that's a group, you can pick the one that you want to be the main CPU and then select this collapse button, and it'll collapse them all into a single unit. Now, if you don't want to keep that, well, you just expand it. Very simple. Now that works. So if we save it like that, I can't save it unless I make a new one. We'll call this test digit. And then we can go out into play mode. All the logic control is still there. It's not going to change. It's still going to function the way it's supposed to. It's just a visual collapsing. And then when we come back in, it might take it a second. That's weird. I'm not quite sure why that's not showing. That's odd. But if you expand it, it'll still work. So that's just a bug. I need to make a note. And that, yet again, that is fix CPU not working on load edit mode. So that's just a small bug in edit mode. So I apologize for that. I will fix that. It's just a visual thing though, again. So you can expand and collapse. And then when you do collapse it, this little thing changes to whatever your group name is. So you can see the group name up there. But that's still the same logic controller number 5 right there. So then if you want, you can collapse these guys. Oops, I didn't want to move that. You can collapse that group down. And now that's digit 1. Now it's interesting because he's got none of the other ones grouped. So you'll see if the group name is nothing and you try to collapse it, it's going to collapse everything. So it's collapsing everything of the same group name. And then if you don't want that to work like that, you just click that expander, and that way you can kind of hide everything if you want to, and you can organize these a little bit better. Or I mean, not organize them better. Well, I guess you could, but I mean, you can visually reduce clutter. That's what I kind of meant to say. So that's the way that works. And I don't want to save this again, but let's see. Improve that. Okay, so yeah, oh yeah, and when you do one of these guys, they immediately show correctly. They pop up, and I fixed the outlines on the logic controllers when they're selected, so they actually look correct. I did do a little further work on the outlining stuff, so it doesn't quite overlap too much. There is some weird overlap you see, but that's not too bad anymore. And let's see what else. I fixed the right bumper or right flipper rubber bounciness, and I increased the shininess of inserts. So let's go back to this one, and we'll look at the inserts here. And you'll see that they're a little bit shinier. They have a little bit more reflective quality that matches the playfield surface better. Before they were a little bit, they were really like a plastic type of surface, which was a little rougher and not as shiny, but now they match the surface of the playfield, which is and should be shiny, at least until it gets some wear on it. And let's see, I also fixed the diverter wire logic control issue. So if you had more than one more than one of these gates, diverter wires or gates. So let's say you had 3 of these guys doing different things, opening different ways, and you had one of these controlling. If you selected one for this one, it would control all of them and it would default to all of them. And that was because of an internal spawn name bug that was preventing that. So now that's working correctly, so you can control them individually. And just for fun logic, you can also control multiple diverters or gates all at the same time with one logic controller. And there are variants of this too, so if you want to change that to a different style of gate, it's a little different. Let's see. The ramps, I fixed the ramp from not spawning the correct one, so now when you spawn a ramp, it shows you the right ramp instead of the last one, which is the lift ramp. This is something I'm still working on. This will be logic controllable, where it'll pop up and down similar to the way these work. So there is just more work that needs to be done on that. And let's see, I removed a rogue polygon from this guy when you select the deflector option. So the deflector now doesn't have an extra polygon on it. I also removed an extra L from here. There was I think it was here in bull weight. There was an extra L there. Got rid of that. And let's see, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. Also, what I try to do in the updates is give you a little bit of performance update enhancement. So there is a little bit of that every time. I always try to do some optimization every time I do an update. So that is something. You can't do anything with this yet, but I'd kind of like to make it so that you can goof around with this and like tap it and it would bump or something. But if you, let's save. When you go into edit mode, it does sort of bounce into place, which is kind of funny. So it's like a little metal ball chain kind of thing. All right, so that is that. And don't forget, join us tomorrow or tonight, I guess really tonight, Friday night, at 9:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And yours truly will be with Imoto Harney and Marco Specialties as we check out all the new features of PinBuilder and build some tables live with the folks in the Midwest Expo Classic or Arcade Classic. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really do those things very often, but I do want to do them more often now. And if you guys want to join me on Monday nights, every Monday night, currently from 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I will be doing the weekly what's up and how to and the future, looking forward future stuff too. So please join me for that. And until then, till tomorrow or tonight, whatever day it is, keep on pin building, have fun, treat yourselves with love and respect, and know that you're valued. And I appreciate you and your excitement in PinBuilder. It means the world to me as I try to navigate this world doing the one thing I love the most, and that is making video games and pinball. I guess that's two things I love the most, and home roasted espresso. Hey, yeah, and cats. All right, you guys, take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.